Hello and welcome to Writing Momentum. My name's Christopher Maselli and I'm here with my wife, Gina. How's it going, Gina?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes,
Coming to the end of January 2023. I can't believe the first month is almost already over.
already over.
Almost.
Happens quickly, doesn't
I
it?
guess at least we're at least halfway through past the midway point, so it goes fast.
We're 1/12 into the new year already.
I know.
Last week we talked about my tech stack, right?
Mhm.
Apps and the programs and the software that I use to get my writing done. We didn't really get into a lot of the marketing stuff. We might do that on a future time. But right now we talked about with the apps I use, and we wanted to come back and say, okay, now I'm a techie guy. I love that stuff. Gina's not as techie, but she gets just as much done as I do. So we want to hear, what apps do you use? What is your tech stack? How does that sound?
I think it sounds really good. I have to say, when Chris first approached me with this, and he said, "We're going to do tech stacks. I'm going to talk about mine, and now you're going to talk about yours." My mind initially went blank
Like, what
because
tech stack?
I thought, "What tech stack? I don't." He's the techie guy. I'm the get her done kind of person. So if you are a non-techie person, listen up because I can relate, and I've got some suggestions that I think will help you.
Although, you know what's funny is that you say you're a non-techie person, but I have seen your list and you use a lot of technology to get stuff done. And really, I think everyone does today, right? We may say we're not that techie, but the truth is we use our computers, we use our phones, we use apps for a lot of things. That doesn't mean that for everyone it's just replaced pen and paper. In fact, as you'll see, some of the things that Gina uses are just pen and paper. I think we're all a little more techie than we think sometimes.
There's a couple of reasons for that. One, we just have to be, right? Two, I have a husband who has told me that he will not let me go quietly into the night when it comes to tech. That he said, you have to stay up with this. So he somewhat forces me to. But I
Let,
will,
let me just piggyback on that and say, though, it's not really just me, it's also the industry. If you're
yeah,
going to
that's
be a
true.
writer today, you have to be able to submit your manuscripts in electronic format. No publisher anymore wants you to mail them
Oh,
anything.
sure.
They want it by email. They want it in they want it in Word format usually. If they want to know what your social media numbers are, right? You have to be a bit techie. You have to learn this stuff. This is part of being a writer in 2023.
It is, but I would say that for me, yes, I use all the basics. I use all the necessities. But I think when I say that you're techie, you are someone who just loves to get a new piece of software
Yes.
and learn it and figure out how to make it do even more than the average person. And I am not that way. I have too much to think
You just want
about.
it to work.
I just want it to work. I want it to work,
Yeah.
period. And so that's the difference. When I think of you being super techie, I think of you really just loved getting this stuff. And you'll even know if I have something that works, I'm not looking for anything else. I don't want to learn anything else. I just want to use what works. You are very happy to go and say, I love this, but I wonder what else is out there. And you'll go and you'll look at all these different things. And then very often you will come back and say, I found something even better.
Yeah.
We need to learn a new program. And I have to go through a period of, okay, I have to gear myself up for it to learn this new program. And usually you're right. It's not that hard. We make it work and everything like
It's the hobbyist side of me enjoys
Mhm.
learning more. I have a hobby of doing these computer programs and that. But I will say that when I have to sit down and write and I have to get something done, the last thing I want to do is be messing with software. I don't want to have anything between me and the written page.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
true.
during those deadlines that all of that hobbyist stuff goes away. And I'm the same way you are. Just make it work. And usually my tech stack, if you listen to my tech stack from last week, you'll find that most of what I use is quite simple. I've boiled it down to very simple items because that's what I use to get my work done. But yes, then I love being a hobbyist and
Yes.
learning more.
Like combined your two things that you love, tech and learning
Yes,
together.
that's
This
true.
brings it together.
All right.
Okay.
So let's talk
Well,
about your first
my
item.
first thing,
The
the number one thing, just flat out, is Word. That is, we have to, as writers, we need to use Word. And Chris mentioned last week, there is a free version available. It's very easy to use. I think it's very intuitive, not super hard. And the thing is with Word that you can use it at a very simple level, but if you want to make it more robust, you can, and you can learn how to make it have all the bells and whistles and things like that. You can learn how to program macros, which sometimes I have done depending on what a client needs. If I find that I'm doing the same type of formatting or something time and time again, I'll just create a macro so that all I have to do is push a button and the project just automatically goes through the motions and does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Word is just, I don't even think of Word as being techie. I think it's just a
It's
necessity,
because you've
you
gotten
know?
so used to it. It's
Yeah,
part of Office 365. So if you're looking to look into Microsoft Word, especially the online version, you'll want to look up Microsoft Office 365. And it's a yearly subscription for the one that you download onto your computer. Now, if you just want to use the one that's online, which is kind of like Google Docs, only it's Microsoft Word Online, you can just search for that through Google and you will find it. And it's completely free. Yeah.
definitely. So then you go to my second one, and my second one is equally simple, and that is my iPhone.
Yep.
I love my iPhone. We switched to iPhone a few years back, and I would not want to be without it. And what I love about it, and I will be in meetings and I'll be taking notes on my iPad or on my iPhone. I will send myself one way that I send myself reminders is I send myself text messages. If I think of something, don't forget to do this, and I send it to myself. But what I really love about the iPhone is that it syncs with my laptop. And no matter where I go, I can find a file, I can find an
Yes.
email, I can whatever. I can find all my contacts. I love the fact that all my phone, computer, I love that they talk to one another.
Yeah. And then having your notes with you really helps. I've
Mhm.
seen you before where you'll be in meetings and you'll need to be taking notes and you'll just be going to town there on that iPhone and putting all your notes in there. And when you get home, you don't have to email it to yourself.
Mhm.
And have to do anything. She just pulls up the notes app on her Mac and there's all the notes she took on her
Mhm.
iPhone and they're all right there ready to use. And that's pretty great.
Same with photos. I
Hmm.
can take a photo if I'm out somewhere, I see something that I want to use later for social media or something I want to use for a project. I even use it I'll scan, which I'll talk about that in a minute, but I use it really regularly. I always have my phone. If I don't have my phone, and I know we all feel that way just in general, but from a work standpoint, I use my phone a lot. And because it's so small and I can take those notes, if I'm listening to somebody talk and it's a client that I'm working for and I can take those notes, I'm much more able to capture their vision and their voice and just their goals. And I love it.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
keep it
So
together.
now you mentioned scanning. Do you just if you take a photo of something, do you just take a photo of the page too and then have that in your photos or what do you do?
No, I will take photos if it's something at a distance, but I have come to really, and this is my next thing that I love, is I love the app Scannable, and I use it regularly. If I have a document that I need to sign, I can scan it and I can pull it into PDF Expert and I can sign it. I can take a copy of something or I can take a scan of something. And I love that when it prints, one thing I love about Scannable is that when it prints, it looks like I have taken a copy. It's replaced my need for copies, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And I can send things to you. I think that's one of those it's one of those programs that once I learned how to use it, I use it quite a bit, realize that I use it quite a bit.
We've had people ask us, they say, don't you take scans or photocopies or something like that of all your receipts for your work? And we say, no, we don't do that anymore. Just take snapshots of those into Scannable. They show right up in our computer as a receipt. And that's all we need. And it has replaced the whole need for having a scanner. We don't even
Mhm.
own a scanner anymore. Maybe we do on one of our printers. I don't know, but we never use
Yeah,
it. We never
we
use it.
never use it. We
Mm.
never use it. So, yes. And then, my next tech tool and toy that I love is a online software called Happy Scribe.
No, no, this is more than a text, this is not a toy, right? This is a necessity because it is super powerful. Tell everyone what Happy Scribe does.
Okay, so Happy Scribe is this software or a software app that I can use to record. I can use it to not just record, but I import recordings into it, and it has an AI feature that I believe gets about 90% correct
Yeah.
when it transcribes it. So I use it if I'm wanting to, I've done it for myself. If I'm recording myself, maybe I have an idea for something that I want to do, I can use that and then I can transcribe it. I use it in interviews all the time if I'm using interviews. I can take the interview, the audio file, upload it, and it is within minutes that it is ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Within minutes.
So just to be clear, this is an app that's online. It's called Happy Scribe. What you can do is you can upload an audio or video file
That's
into
true.
it, and within minutes, it will have a full transcript of that audio or video transcribed. It'll even identify the speakers where when different people are speaking, and then you can go in, you can edit it. It learns as you edit. So if there's a word that keeps showing up and you tell it what that should be, next time it'll get it correct. And it's super handy because if you ever do any ghostwriting or you just want to talk a lot into your phone and record that and then have it transcribed, it'll do it all for you. And it's very affordable too. It's a really good
It's
program.
very affordable, and it also does subtitles on videos.
Yes, that's right.
And you can go in really quickly after it on the video, you can correct anything that it does miss, but it's
Yes.
very quick, very easy. So we've used it for social media as well if we're doing a video for social
Hmm.
media. I really enjoy it, and I have tried AI software before that I was not impressed with. I thought the amount of time that it would take me to fix this, I can just do it myself.
Yeah.
And that is no longer the case with these. And I know that AI is getting better and better, but it's really pretty good. I would say 90% easy
Yeah, it's worth
getting it
trying.
correct.
If you ever need something that you think, man, I wish I had that in written format instead of a
Mhm,
video or audio, try Happy Scribe. You'll be very happy
mhm,
with it. And we use it a lot with clients because they'll send us audios and videos and say, hey, I'd like something written based on this. And rather than have to listen to an hour talk or 2 hour talk, you just throw it into Happy Scribe and you've got that transcript that you can scan through and
mhm.
find the page that you want.
Yes.
All right,
And
what's
then
next?
the next thing is our writing moments. This is
Ah,
something
writing
that we
moments.
started in 2022 and
Mhm.
has just really turned out to be a beautiful, I don't know, just a co-working opportunity. We have a small group of people that we work with that have joined us. And so it's an hour-long session every Wednesday at noon Central. And we come together. We have about 5 minutes of just talking and just seeing how everybody's doing and just catching up for the week. Then we have about 10 minutes of teaching by
Mhm.
either Chris, myself, or Renee Gutteridge. And then we have 45 minutes of co-writing. And it's just been a really good exercise that we have done. And we've had our first you heard me mention it last week that we had our first success story we've got someone who's just published a book because of writing moments. We've got somebody else who has at least one project coming to a close. I think she might actually have two
Mm.
or more. I'm coming to the close of a project I've been working on. So it's just a great time for us to get together.
Yeah.
So
Never fall for this idea that writing is a solo venture, right? Writing, you can get so much more done if you are accountable to other people. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to be working on that draft yourself, but when you're working on it together with others and we're all working on our own projects together, we all get more done. So it's totally worth becoming a part of Writing Moments or some other co-writing group. We really encourage you to become part of one. If you don't have one, come join us. Come to writingmoments.com and we'd love to have you.
And I wanna piggyback on that and say I'm a part of some Facebook groups. We have one as well, but I hear writers sometimes say that, they don't have anybody around them who understands what they're trying to
Yeah.
do. Even not some of them, and this one just really gets to me. It really makes me very sad that people don't have support around them, that they don't have people who really believe in what they're trying to do, not just to understand it, but believe in it. So I really encourage you when Chris says that writing is not a solo exercise or activity, there really is something so beautiful about getting together with people who understand the writing world, who understand what you're trying to do, and who are cheering you on and supporting you and not falling into any competitive messiness, but just encouraging one another. So
100%.
please look for that tribe. It's so worth it.
Okay, before we close up here, we got a little bit into what I use for project management, and I use all kinds of apps and stuff. But I said what I really like most is just a blank document on my computer up in the corner. But what do you use to manage all the projects that you're going on, whether they're personal projects or projects for
Yeah.
clients? What do you use? What of these mighty apps out there, Trello and ClickUp and SmartSuite, and what do you use out of all those Monday? What do you use?
I do want to say we do use ClickUp and we have used Trello, but for my day-to-day operation, this is Gena right here. It is Plum Paper Planner. Plum
Mhm.
Paper Planner. It is a paper planner. But what I love about Plum Paper is that one, it has a really beautiful cover that's really thick, and I've used it probably for about 6 years now, and the cover never tears on me, which I love that.
Yeah, let me
Um,
for those of you who are watching, I want to pull it up on the screen here so you can see it.
but what I love about Plum Paper, and Chris has pulled it up for you, is that it is customizable. I customize the cover. I customize what I want on the cover. I've even this year, I was not able to put a picture of our family because we didn't have a picture of all of us together. But I usually have a picture of my whole family on there because they are my why. But inside, I can customize. You can see here what Chris has pulled up here if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, so we're looking at a week-long view. It looks like you've got
Mhm.
Monday through Friday over a spread.
Over a
And you
spread.
can see each day what your priorities for that day are for yourself and for your home and family. And then it looks like you've even got a place for meals and then of course all your projects.
Yes, and I was able to customize whether or not I wanted that priorities there, or whether I wanted it to say home and family, if I wanted the meals. I've even got a space at the top that says focus and inspiration. Those are things that I chose. They had a list that I could choose from, or I could make my own. Well, I really love that. And then if you'll go to the next page, this is for blog planning, which for me is more podcast planning, but I've got some planning that I can do on there, some pages, but I chose that I said I wanted that page in there. So I was able to build my own planner with the next one
With
with
the prompts that you want to have, whether it's a brainstorming prompt or a certain priorities, that sort of thing.
yes, and I could do they have a lot of different types of planners on there, but I chose to put in this blog planning because I thought it would work for this podcast. You
Mhm.
can move to the next one. This is a page that is in Everyone, which is the highlight page at the beginning of the month. And then if you'll go to the next one, there's also to-do lists that I add, but I was able to add that page to each of my months so I could make sure I have that. And then I went ahead and added this reflection page so that at the end of the month, I can see, okay, what was I planning to do and where did I end up? So,
It's a good way to measure your productivity over time.
mhm.
Look back and say, "Oh, how did I do that month?" It's like having just a check-in, a monthly check-in.
Yeah, and this is only a few of the options. Plum Paper Planner has a ton of different add-ins that you can do. They have a ton of different, what would we say, the way that it's laid out, the different
Mhm.
layouts. So this is just what works for me. I personally I find there's something that works for me when I have to write down and when I get to check off. And I will even do some decorating of my planner where because it helps me think through what I'm doing for that week. What am I thinking about? And because I'm like a lot of people, I'm an employee for myself. I have my own business. I have my clients. I have my family. And I also homeschool my kids. So I have a lot of things that I'm working on. So having a paper planner works. And this is just the best one that I found. And like I said, I've used it probably, this might be my seventh year, sixth or
Yeah.
seventh year
She carries
using
it
it
around every.
everywhere. If I don't have it, I'm kind of, it's leaving my phone. Where's it at? I got to have it.
All right. So, will you go ahead and give everyone just a brief rundown of the items that we talked about
Okay,
today?
my tech stack, my scaled down this nuts and bolts tech stack that I have to make my 2023 work. First is Word. Gotta have my Word. And I am just a purist. I want Word and I want it to work because I know it works. My iPhone, I love that it syncs so that I have all my information scannable. I love being able to get that transcription or subtitles for my videos, writing moments, showing up on Wednesday, knowing that I get to do this every week and get to encourage and help others in their story and help them succeed, but also that it helps me work on my own project. I'm making progress because of that as well. Next is happy. Did I mess up? Did I
You didn't
say
mention Happy Scribe. No, Happy Scribe is also one that you love for being able to get those transcripts.
I messed up though because I said Scannable was the one that was the transcript.
Okay, we all know. We all know the truth, don't we? Scannable is the one you use to scan in things like documents and that sort of
Yes.
thing, and then Happy Scribe is what you use to get transcripts of
Yes.
audios and videos.
And then finally, Plum Paper Planner, which I use having my paper planner that I get to customize is just so worth it. I love it. Get
Yes.
to put it together every year and just really helps me stay on track.
Hey, if you enjoyed listening to Gena's Tech Stack, please let us know. We'd love to hear what you use. And if you're still planning out your year, you know how Gena talked about how she plans out so much and has these monthly reviews. We have a resource that we put together for you that we think you might like. And it is
Move the needle.
Move the
Move the
But
needle.
we are not doing good with our minds here today, are
It's the end
we're
of the day
forgetting.
and
It's
we're
the end of the day. Yeah, it's called Move the Needle. It's an ebook and it's absolutely free on writingmomentum.com. You can go there and download it. And what it does is we have on there a plan for how you can get individual projects completed with 6-week plans. And we use this a lot. We use this with our masterminds that we're a part of, to where we say, what are we going to work on for the next 6 weeks? And then we hit the ground running. We do what we need to do for the 6 weeks and we get a lot done. We wanted to make that available to you just for free because you're a part of our Writing Momentum family. So please go to writingmomentum.com and check that out. Also check out Writing Moments at writingmoments.com. And until next time, please remember that together we have
writing momentum.
bye-bye.